All the time in the world, the Twilight Zone's lesson on seeing and being. Henry Bemis had one dream: to read. In his eyes, books were the gateway to another world, a better world, far from the responsibilities and relationships that felt suffocating and unfulfilling. But the Twilight Zone's Time Enough at Last reveals a deeper truth about agendas, distractions, and the illusions we create when we're not fully present in our lives. Part 1. Agendas and Escapism. Everyone in Henry's world has an agenda. The boss demands productivity and conformity, viewing Henry's reading as a distraction from his role in the organization. Helen sees reading as a threat to their marriage and accuses Henry of sacrificing the art of conversation. Henry only wants to escape into his books, avoiding the uncomfortable realities of his job, his marriage, and himself. But here's the irony. While Henry resents his wife and boss for controlling his time, he never asks why he craves escape so badly. His compulsive reading isn't about learning or growth, it's about avoiding the life in front of him. How many of us are like Henry? We cling to distractions, books, screens, hobbies, telling ourselves they're meaningful while avoiding the bigger questions. What am I escaping from? Why am I doing this? What am I afraid to face? Part 2. The Vault and the Bomb. Henry's retreat into the bank vault is more than just a plot device. It's a metaphor. The vault represents isolation, safety, and escape, but it also shows how we trap ourselves in pursuit of what we think we want. While Henry buries himself in his books, the world outside implodes. Literally. The headline he reads, H-bomb capable of total destruction, is prophetic, but Henry glosses over it. He doesn't truly see the gravity of what's happening around him, just as he fails to see the consequences of his own choices. When the bomb detonates, Henry emerges into a desolate world, a graveyard of his distractions, his agendas, and ultimately, his humanity. His survival feels like a dark gift. He finally has all the time he ever wanted, but with no one to share it with, no purpose and no connection. Part 3. The Library and the Glasses. When Henry stumbles upon the library, it feels like salvation. His excitement is childlike, almost manic, as he stacks books for months, years, and decades of reading. For the first time, he feels he has control over his time. But this moment of triumph is short-lived. When his glasses break, the cruel irony of his situation becomes clear. All the time in the world is useless if you can't see. All the plans in the world are worthless if you don't account for what you can't control. Henry's tragedy isn't just the loss of his glasses, it's his failure to see the bigger picture all along. He thought time was the solution, but time wasn't the problem. The problem was his inability to be present, to engage with life as it was, and to ask the hard questions about himself and his choices. The masterpiece, the lesson of Henry Bemis. Time Enough at Last is a cautionary tale, but not just about time. It's about seeing ourselves, our choices, and the illusions we create. Henry's obsession with books wasn't about knowledge. It was about escape. He couldn't see his own unhappiness or ask why he felt so disconnected. And when he finally got what he wanted, it wasn't enough, because he still couldn't see. This story challenges us to ask, what are we escaping from? What illusions are we creating about what we think we need? Are we present in the time we have, or are we constantly chasing more time to do what we think matters? Henry Bemis is a mirror for all of us. He shows us the cost of living in fantasy, the blindness of distraction, and the heartbreaking consequences of not asking the deeper questions.